Reba here. Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Yeah, I'm pretty short. um, anyways, I just wanted to show you guys what I am doing today in the garden. And so, yeah, let's look at that. So, today I am condensing my plants that I had for sale, and that way I can just get rid of them a lot quicker. So, I've gotten all of the German thyme put together, and I've gotten all of the Bernat put together. Sage comes up over here into the shade a little bit. The sun's slowly moving across. These ones are extras. I'm going to give some to my neighbor across the street. The stinging nettles did not sell fully, so I still have like 2 little pots of that. So I've been thinking about planting some of the items, the extra items, up in the little cinder blocks along over here, because those cinder blocks are going to stay here when we leave because they were here when we moved in. So I'm leaving them right where they are, and it works out to be a nice little area to plant stuff in. So the next people, if they decide they don't want the herbs, they can just get rid of them and they can plant flowers, or they can just do nothing. Doesn't matter to me. So I've got lots of wasps and stuff buzzing around here, but this is what I've been working on today. I'm using all these little pink pots. Let's see, I've got some right here. Some little pink pots somebody gave to me. Somebody who bought some plants, she gave me some of these little pink pots, and so yeah, they had organic things growing in them. I'm not exactly sure what the things were, but yeah, so I kind of have an idea, but yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. But anyways, but nothing bad, like super bad. It's organic stuff. So so anyway, so where she works, she gets a lot of these containers, and so she gave me a whole bunch she had in her trunk. So she shared with me. That was super nice. I told her if she ever has any extra ones that she gets from work, she can just come by anytime and put a whole bunch by my fence, and I would be totally okay with that, because I can totally use extra pots. And if she does that, then I'd be willing to give her some plants. So I have decided to go ahead and this year be the only year that I'm offering the amount of like common herbs, because you can get the common herbs, you know, at your local grocery stores, and or like nurseries and box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, what have you, Tractor Supply. You can get your general typical herbs. The Bernat's one that you're not typically gonna see, and the electric daisies, and also known as toothache plant, is one that you're not going to readily find. Mint is an okay one to sell, but I don't think I'll offer as many as I am this year. So I've condensed the mint down to I've had over here, but I'm going to be moving this over into the shade more, so like more flush with the edge of the house here. And then that way it'll only get afternoon sun, because a lot of the leaves are kind of crispy. Like if you look over here at the thyme, it looks kind of brownish. You can kind of see in the viewfinder. I don't want to stand in the sun because I don't have any sunscreen on, so I'm up in the shade. I'm super fair, you guys. I'm like super fair. So yeah, so I'm thinking I will stick with getting a few cuttings every year from my new varieties of my variegated sages. And the common sage doesn't sell as well, as you see. I have quite a bit of that left. Same with the rosemary. And the thyme is kind of the same way. I still have a lot of that left. So I condensed down all the little containers. I put about 2 of the plants of sage in one container, because those were in a little bit bigger square pots, like the same size that the curly willow's in. And so I put 2 in those containers and filled in the little gaps. And then the rosemary, I went ahead and put 4 rosemaries in each one. Now this one only has 3, but I do have an extra rosemary growing in my greenhouse that I can put another one into this pot, which is totally cool. So then I'll have a total of 7 of the rosemary containers left to sell this year, which is totally doable. And so I'll be getting new pictures here pretty soon, put up on Marketplace, and that sort of thing. I'm not going to ship these, you guys. So, yeah, I'm not going to ship them. I've also decided that, gooseberries, I'll do cuttings of gooseberries in the future. We'll see how much cuttings I'll have in, come February time. I'm not sure if I'll be offering them this next year, or I'll wait another year, because I took a bunch of cuttings this year already, and I pruned and did some stuff this season already on the gooseberries. So the gooseberries, the lemon verbena, that sort of thing. You might see, I might post some lemon verbena in my Etsy shop for sale, and I might post some of the cuttings of the gooseberries, but I am just going to wait on that until I know exactly how much I have to offer, and that way I can put it up and that sort of thing. So, but the common herbs and that sort of thing, I don't think I'm going to be doing this again. I am actually really enjoying saving plants from like the nurseries and that sort of thing. So I'm going to be frequenting my region, the nurseries that I go to, checking to see if they have any struggling plants, and getting those and bringing those back to life. So I'll show you one I brought back to life. And I already posted a picture of it today, so I'm going to go in the sun. But here's one of the plants that I rescued, this rose bush right here. And it's in full bloom now already again, and we've got blossoms, which is really great. I've listed this one for sale already, so hopefully somebody will snatch it up quickly, because yeah, it's ready to go to its new home. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'll bring things back to life, and then I'll resell some of the items. I'm thinking I'm going to end up keeping those cornelian cherries, though, because I had tried growing some from seed, and it's definitely a plant that I really, really wanted to have in my collection. So I'm going to try to maybe do some air pruning on it, so I might be able to get another tree out of one of them, maybe a couple of them. And if that's the case, then I can sell off, you know, part of it, and then have a little bit for myself. Because if I can do stuff like that, then I'm willing to part with things, because I'm kind of a collector. Don't really classify myself as a hoarder, but yeah. So anyways, look, the pumpkins are doing really good along the fence line right now. It's the heat of the day, you guys. So the leaves look really sad and droopy. Don't let that fool you. Do not rush to your plants to water them during the middle of the day, you guys, like this. Because if you do that, you are likely going to end up killing your plant, because the soil is really hot at the top, and it will actually, the soil so hot that when you add the water, it actually cooks the roots. So if you see your leaves all wilty and stuff like this, don't rush to water it during the middle of the day. Just wait, and in the evening, then water. Or wait until before the sun comes up in the morning and water in the early morning. You guys, do not water during the middle of the day. In about an hour to an hour and a half, the shade from this fencing right here will actually create partial shade with like dappled sunlight coming through. All these leaves will perk up again, and they will be completely fine. They will be 100% way happier. Like if you look over here, these ones that are in the shade, I'll walk a little bit closer. These ones that are in the shade, you guys, see this? They're completely fine. But as you get into the sun, they get wilty. And then the ones that are up in here in the shade, they're completely fine. So just keep that in mind, you guys. But I do have a fair good amount of pumpkins. Check out this pumpkin hiding under here. This thing is massive, and my hands are about 5 inches, so you kind of can tell It's a good sized pumpkin. I think that's about the size of the pumpkin that I had last year from this. This was about the same size I got at the store of this actual pumpkin that I'm growing right now. And I got a couple more, another 3 down this way that are growing. And then I've got zucchini over here. I got 8-ball zucchini, you guys. Check how beautiful that is. And so that's what these ones are. And I got a whole bunch growing back in here. Some of them are ready to be harvested. This one looks ready. And then I got a pumpkin on the fence line. So that's probably going to end up taking out my zucchini plants if I'm not careful. I'll probably have to figure out something with that. And then I've got more pumpkins trying to set on the extra tendrils, and I keep just pushing the tendrils back so that I can mow through here. And this tarp actually works out really, really nicely to have a place to redirect all these pumpkin limbs. I probably won't do pumpkins again next year, only because of the space that they take up in the garden, and they make it really, really hard for me to mow and do all that kind of stuff. So next year, if we are still living here, I am thinking about just doing tomatoes along here, and then have herbs every other thing, and then flowers. So I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking, planting flowers and doing tomatoes, something that can like either reseed itself the next year and or like just seasonal type items. The zucchini do really well along the fence line here. I might do that again, especially the 8-ball ones. So I'll see about letting one of those ones go to seed this year. Hopefully they don't cross-pollinate with the pumpkins. I don't know if that is something that can happen, but they're both in the squash family, so it's very, very possible. That would be really interesting. A pumpkin mixed with a 8-ball zucchini. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, my tomato, this one's not too big, but I have a cherry tomato down on that, and that's rocking it, you guys. It's probably the one of the biggest ones I have this year that I did not purchase. I actually grew that from seed, so that's actually pretty good. The cherry tomatoes do the best in my microclimate in my yard. So that's what I've noticed. Oh, I've got a mess down here. I got some pumpkin leaves. I had to trim some of the pumpkin leaves away, so when I'm squirting the water into the cinder blocks, I'm getting it right where the roots are. So I trimmed a little bit of the foliage away. But yeah, so I just wanted to share with you guys what I've been working on today. I still have to finish potting a lot of these up, and by doing so, I'm condensing the amount of plants that I have to sell. So it looks like for the most part, I've got 4 plants in each container to 2 to 4 plants. So it just depends on what it is that I'm selling. But I want to get them gone so that I can free up space in my yard and just be done with them, because I'm about ready. I'm about ready for it to be all gone. And so I've got some St. John's wort down there that I potted up. That one, I think I did 2 plants in it, so that's kind of like the sage. But like in the future, I'm definitely thinking the variegated sages, the toothache plant every year, because it reseeded itself last year in the container with my apples, and the plants came up this year, and I automatically knew exactly what plant it was. That's the great thing about growing things, you guys. You start learning what your starts look like when they start coming up. So this year I knew immediately that my toothache plant had self-seeded itself last year, and I was so excited to see all the plants that it produced for this year. So I've got a whole bunch that I can offer. I'm thinking about maybe putting 3 of the plants, 3 to 4. We'll see how many I can fit into the container. I might be able to get away with putting 4 into one of these little containers, and that would be awesome. And then that way the people would have 4 plants, and that will condense down how much I have to sell. And then and I'll show you what I've got going on right here with the same plant. So here is my electric daisy here. This one is not so huge. The blossom got really, really big last year, but I've got more plants in here. I've got a lot of plants in this container. So these are all electric daisy down in here. This is a fig shoot that I stuck in the ground to try to root. And then here's another fig. I think it's the Mary Lane fig, so I already wrote it down. So if it takes root, then I know what I have rooted in here with the electric daisy toothache plant. And I really love this. I'm gonna pick a bunch of the leaves this year, but I had so many that I decided to put some together to sell, and why not? So that's a more unique item that most people aren't gonna have, and I will probably have a little bit easier time selling to other people because it's new kind of to people's. Some people know about it, but a lot of people don't. So yeah, so it's really nice to have different things that you can offer, like the variegated varieties of sage and what have you. So I'll be offering probably those kind of items next year, and I'll probably wait to take cuttings until next spring and do it that way from now on. But yeah, be looking. I'll let you guys know if I decide to actually, because I'm always trying to find a way to help make money to help my family. And so where you see other people's YouTube videos, they'll say, oh, we're not into it, we rather just give things away to people. I also do that. Okay, I also, like, people will come and they'll buy something and I'll give them a plant for free. So I'm also giving away things, but I'm also trying to help my family out a little bit. And so every time I have a plant sale, it helps my family, even if it's just a few dollars. And so a lot of times I'm really giving, and I freely give a lot away. I've given a lot of stuff away this year, and but I've also been able to sell a little bit. I have not had very big sales at all, but what I have sold, it's been a tremendous help to my family. And then I also love to bless other people, so I do give away stuff as well. And so what I end up not being able to sell this season, I will actually put out on the curb, and I will offer it for free to, like, my neighbors and that sort of thing. So anybody who's driving by will be able to just, take what they want. So I figure I'll just try my best and try to sell it here locally, and then let go of what I can, or even plant some of it up into the cinder blocks along here, because come October these will be gone, and I can have thyme growing in them and that sort of thing with time. All right, so that's a bit corny, but yeah. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.